So I'm jumping on camera real quick to answer a question in the Portraits with Michelle Messenger group. Michelle asked a question, and it's about teeth. And I thought, well, this is too complicated to try to write it out, so I thought I'd do this quick video. Try to keep it short. How do I decide when it's better to leave teeth out, and how much should I show? So honestly, I don't typically, when I draw portraits, I don't have the big toothy smiles, but usually when I do put teeth in, I just indicate. I don't show any detail. Because when you're looking at a face, you're not looking at the teeth, you're looking at the eyes. You're looking at the smile, but you're not looking at the details of the teeth. So it's better to keep it simple, show less than a lot of detail. Because in a drawing, the minute you start showing all the details, that's saying this is important for you to look at, and I want you to see everything here. So when you start detailing the teeth and putting all the little cracks and nooks and nannies and all the lines outlining, then the teeth get kind of mean looking. It just, it gets weird. So we'll talk about that in a minute. And also, so keep it simple. Less is best with teeth. Less is best. Even my teeth with a smile, you just see a streak of white, a little shading, that's it. Let's see. In black, yes, the mouth is black inside, especially here. You can see the dark, the blacks. But again, even though it does look dark, it's not necessarily black, it's dark. Especially between the teeth. Between the teeth is like if you have a missing tooth. And in some pictures, you just leave it white. No, if it's dark inside the mouth, then you just don't want it to be darker, the darkest point in the drawing. You want to show some shading. And it doesn't have to be black. It could be just a dark mid-tone. Because again, your darkest darks and your lightest lights, that's where the focal point is. Teeth are white, and if it's against a black in the mouth, in the center, then it's going to be your whitest white and your blackest black. And again, that's not where we want the focal point. As far as between the teeth, and I'll show some pictures here, you don't want to outline. I can't stress this enough. And I haven't explained why. When you outline teeth, it looks like there's something between your teeth, like you're eating chocolate and you forgot to suck and you still have chocolate stuck in between your teeth. So when you start outlining all the teeth, it looks like you have stuff in your teeth, and it's not very pretty. So, and it isn't, even here, you don't see black lines. You'll see, like when I look in the camera here, I see the white teeth, the white surface, but I don't see black lines here. I see just maybe if the surface is white, a number 10 on the value scale, the brightest, the whitest, then the color between the teeth is like a number 9, which is just a 1 or a half a step dimmer. It's not black, because the minute you start outlining, that's when it looks like you got stuff between your teeth. It looks like you have dirty teeth, and it's not pretty. So, and really, what defines my teeth aren't the lines, it's this right here, this edge. It's the white, and this edge is what you want to draw, not all the outlines. So let's see. And so it's really important I talk about this, because my teeth are set inside my mouth, it's going to be dimmer on the sides, in the corners. So basically, draw the teeth in, have them all white, and then take a shader or your pinky and just shade here and shade here. Just do it. Just whether you see or not in the photo, whether the photo is totally blown out and it's just a white strip there, just know in your head, okay, the teeth go into the face, so this side, here and here, are going to be dimmer. Not dark, but it's going to be not as bright. Okay, so I'm going to change cameras real quick to show some of this stuff. Oh dear. So what I have here is, let's go here. And when I'm drawing teeth, I don't really think about, especially the spaces between. I don't see, I see this as a shape, the tooth is a shape, and then I see the space in between as a shape. And when you're drawing, and even though there's some dimness here between the teeth, I don't really show it. I show maybe indicate a little bit. Do you see that? You almost don't see it, but there's just maybe a hesitation or just a little faint line between. Because if I put an outline here and here, see how if I put a dark line here and here, see how it separates the teeth? And that's not pretty. It draws too much attention. So if you have to do the outline just to feel comfortable, draw it and then erase it out. Take it out. And knowing that these teeth back here, if I have this all white across, all flat, that will flatten the teeth. It'll pull the teeth forward and flatten them. But because I know that the teeth go into the mouth, watch what happens. These get a little bit dimmer. And then it starts to roll the teeth back. When I talk about so like on this one, on this mouth. Oh, I wanted to say this. I forgot to say this, Michelle. Good job. Because you're working on you did all the mouths. I have a photocopy of them right here. Look how many mouths you tried. And because you're working through it, because you're practicing these, you're realizing, wait, how much do I want to show? Do I just leave it all white? How do I do the, you're starting to ask these questions. So good job. And I could see the mouth here, and I knew which one of your photos that you were drawing. So good job. Good job on that. Jumped into teaching. I wanted to start with that. All right, back. So kids' mouths, they have these toothy smiles. And even here, okay, this is all pretty much white when you look at it. And again, in the space between, I'll go with this space right here. There's a space between these two teeth right here. And there's a space up here in front of the first one, the front ones, the front bottom. So I'll make that darker. Now, I don't want to make this super dark, both of them. Do you see how it actually flips this one forward? So what I'll do is I'll knock this one back so it isn't quite so dark. And then this one's a little bit further forward. Do you see how that pops forward? I don't want it that dark. And in her mouth, it's dark like this. And when I'm drawing, I'm just looking at this shape here, comes up here. And then I just clean up the teeth a little bit. I make a harder edge or harder line, a sharper edge on there. And then in between these two teeth, I'm not going to show much, just a little bit to show that there's teeth. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to knock these back. Her top teeth don't really show. They're in shadow because they're up high. It's her bottom teeth that are actually getting the light. And then I'll do the bottom lip and darken this. Actually, do you see how this is dark right here? I'm just going to bring this over. You see a little bit under there, but when you get into the shadow area, don't show any detail over there. It's better to leave that alone. Maybe pull a little bit. Yeah. This is still a little too dark. Flat in the middle. I don't want this as dark as her eyes though. Or I don't know. In this photo, it depends on the photo. This photo, it's all about her teeth, isn't it? Because all this is muted. So it's about this, her teeth right here. And what I'm going to do, clean it up a little bit, I'm just going to get that top line right here, the top edge of the teeth. I'm going to define them just a little bit more. So it's this top edge along the top ridge of the teeth that give the feeling that there's a separation between the teeth. I don't have to drop a straight line all the way down. And then I'm just going to pull out where I see it lit. And that's enough. That's almost, in a portrait, this is almost too much detail. But yeah, that's how you do it. With Lori's, with her teeth, again, it's not necessarily this right here. You don't want to put a dark line here because then it starts separating the teeth and then it looks fake. It looks dirt, like she has something stuck between her teeth. So I would take these two as one tooth. And then it's this gum area right here that comes down and shows the curve of the tooth. This comes over. This one here, same. These two teeth are right together with a little separation. Not a dark line, but it's the gum. This shape, which isn't dark, but it's light, that gives the tooth the form. Just darken this, the lip. And then underneath the tooth, and anything on the tooth, just keep it flat. And don't try to show ridges and all that, because then that's way too much detail for your drawing. Again, it isn't about, usually it's not about the teeth, usually it's about the face, the eyes. So the dark is right here between and back here. She has a tooth just barely coming in. And when I'm doing the darks, the negative space between the teeth, I'm just drawing the shape of the dark, that space. I'm not even thinking teeth, I'm just drawing that space. And right here, this is actually a little darker than in the middle. And with that, you just go, you draw it, and then you go with what feels good. This tooth sets back a little bit, so I'm going to dim that one. Make this one come forward by brightening it. So, okay, and I have your mom here. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Well, I have my face and a white line right through it. But when you squint, I don't want to put separation lines because, like I said, then it looks wrong. It looks dirty. It's just this bottom line. And then the gums, the top line. The bottom of the teeth and then the gums. And leave it open between. Don't put a straight line. You got your mom here? Now your mom, I'm not sure her teeth. Now she has lines between her teeth. I don't know if these are her original teeth or, and I'm not sure, this must be her lip. I'm not sure what I'm looking at. But all I see are just these little bits right here of the bottom of her teeth. And even with that, when you draw it, I think it would be better just to bring it up, but don't make a straight line. So what does that mean? So with that, her teeth come over like this. The lip comes up here. And I'm going to start with the center tooth right here. I'm just going to pull up a little bit, come over, up a little bit. This one comes down a little, going over. So I'm just kind of catching the bottom of the teeth. And then here's her lip right here. Here's her smile corner that comes down like this. And then she has something over the top of her teeth. And then she has a corner here. Her mouth comes over. And then her bottom lip comes down like this. It goes up like that. Now, if I leave it just flat across like this, it looks like her teeth are flat. So what I'm going to do, here's the bottom, here's the corner of her mouth, this little area here, here's the corner over here, here's the bottom of her upper lip. This is a little bit lighter over here. It's not as dark as over here. This is a little dimmer, not black. Okay. Then what I'll do is I'll just use my finger and then I'll just catch the bottom But just not these teeth over here, but just a couple here. And even my line in between is a little bit dark, so I'll just tap it out just a little there. And that's really all you need to show. It's getting your teeth and all the little cracks and everything outlined isn't going to give the feeling of the person. It's the shading, how in the edges. It's this bottom line right here. And then her gums, but I'm not sure where the gums are here. So what I see is what I draw. And if you start thinking, just turn it upside down. If you overthink it, turn it upside down and then draw it. Which she might have dentures. I'm not sure. For her age, she looks beautiful. And yeah, it's right here, just the bottom that are white. But just be careful about putting a lot of detail. And go back and touch the corners of the mouth, okay? And then if you have to, do the whole mouth and then just lift out the light. That's going to look more finished and prettier than if you do all of the lines and marks and all the details in the teeth. So just remember, if you outline your teeth, it's going to look like they didn't brush their teeth. Less is best. And it's really that line, the bottom line, that defines the teeth, and then the gums. You know, if they have a big smile like mine, I show all my gums, then it's that value around the top of the teeth. Corners are dimmed. So make them all white, draw them in, tap out the line between the teeth, tap those out, and then just corners and have fun. And try again. Try a couple of these mouths and do them quick. Try to keep it simple. Simple is best on teeth. Less is best. And I'll see you this coming week, and we'll set the time in a bit. But that's all I got for now.